Capricorn, this is your reading for the month of July. The way I like to do this is I start off with a vision that I had during my meditation time, and then I go to tarot cards and oracle cards from there as guided. And this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest, and I will go ahead and put in the description, I'll put what decks I used, as well as I'll put a link to a site that it's just a free site that you can find out the rest of your birth chart. You can check out your birth chart and all the planets and positions and stuff. And then that way you can also look up other readings. So this is, Capricorn. It's for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Mars, or Venus. A lot of times Mercury, Mars, Sun, Moon, Rising. I meant to say Sun, Moon, Rising. A lot of times those are like the prominent three. And so, if you have Capricorn in those placements, this reading can really apply to you. But then whatever other signs you have in different placements, those are also some videos you may want to check out. So like I said, I'll go ahead and leave that link in the description. And yeah, so as far as the vision I had for you during my meditation time, it was basically like you were hammering. I mean, I don't know if it's you necessarily, it's just the concept of hammering a nail in wood. And for some people, it may be like the concept also of that, like, so say there's like almost like a fence post. It's not necessarily a fence post, but just like, a long piece of wood. And then the other end can, before it's all the way in, it can swing, it can have more give. And I also got the element that sometimes it can be kind of move and end up being in the way when it does that. So just, until it's hammered down, when you're connecting a piece of wood to another piece of wood, it can the other end is still kind of free. So, I can see that to mean so many different things. However, I want to get into the tarot first, so that way I'm not biased on anything with that and it goes the right direction. So, so Spirit Guide Universe, what message do you have for Capricorn for the month of July, especially in regards to the vision so far? What does Capricorn need to hear? Oh my gosh. Some of these cards are sticking, so I'm trying to make sure it's shuffled well. Yeah, like that. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so got the Dreamer, which is kind of like the Fool card. It's an interesting take on the Fool card. So 3 of Cups. So Fool, can be a new beginning, a new start. Sometimes it's just that kind of energy of jumping into something and just, I don't like saying so much naive or childlike, but just, like jumping into something and having this new experience, this open energy for a new experience. So 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is, it's a lot of times it's also emotional release. So it can be connecting with people, you know, connecting social situation, but a lot of times it's like an emotional release, a connection in that way. Justice card. Oh wait, I don't know if I showed it. So it's like 3 of water, basically. It looks like fire, but that's water. And then the Justice card, you know, it's a matter of looking the past, the present, to the future, and changing things accordingly, but also balancing things according to, you know, the desired outcome. You know, taking a stand. And then the Queen of Pentacles is a matter of, it's kind of, it's like material. It's basically like influence in the material realm. So it's, you know, taking, you know, making sure creature comforts are taken care of. And, you know, as far as like things beautiful, or, you know, even just like feeding people, you know, like that kind of energy of influencing your environment based off of that. And that's the energy. It doesn't mean that's what you do necessarily, but it's just that is that energy coming in there. So right offhand, it's funny. I see this as, here, let me see if I can pull these a little bit. I mean, this is the Fool card, but it's like walking this way and looking over that there. And it's funny because normally the Fool is like, it's walking off a cliff, but I feel like that's almost like the cliff. I know that's in a house and everything, but I feel like in this reading for you guys, like this is kind of like that unknown. And they're coming into like, I don't know, it's almost like what was in your head was the unknown. Was the, okay, let me get stuck in my head. Let me delve in here. Let me keep exploring by telling yourself, you know, that like you need to understand things more. So you would kind of get stuck in your head, that type of energy. And so now it's like, okay, no, let me just get out in the real world. However, part of this is also, you know, it feels like she's walking, I said she, but he, she, you know, that's not the energy. I mean, as it is, yeah. Anyways, is walking away from this. So, and it's kind of funny because it's like, this is actually like out and about, you know, it's not out and about, but it's, you know, it's emotional, intuitive energy. I mean, let me see, hold on. So emotional, intuitive, and, you know, pentacles. So it can be like financial and material. It doesn't have to be those things. It's just, I'm trying to see the subjects that this could be leaning towards. But yeah, so it's basically, it's like this idea of this kind of connection and this kind of, I feel like saying gelling, like say like maybe when you were in your head, you kind of, you know, you had specific connections with people, specific friendships, specific whatever. And it's all like stuff that were always super familiar to you. So you'd say it was an emotional release. However, you weren't actually getting out into the real world and meeting new people or having new experiences. It was always whatever is already in your comfort zone, home zone, your unknown that's inside kind of thing. I mean, I know that's like, that almost looks like those buildings, like, is it called, I don't know, remember what that's called, but you know, those buildings that are like in funeral or in graveyards. It just makes me think of that. But I mean, in some of you guys, maybe there could be a situation where you're connecting to other people was almost like going back to your old stuff, going back to a dead you, going back to an old you. And it's because it's like all you ever felt comfortable doing, because maybe you've changed and grown in some ways, but this area was something you always kept too. And I believe last month's reading was also, the last couple months have been a very much like you've been not stuck, but you've been kind of moving away from the energy, or you've been, you know, needing to move away from the energy of this home base of the social group you have. Not saying that it was bad, but it's just like you were kind of limiting yourself in it. And then the Justice card, you know, it's like I said, it's balancing and adjusting things according to what you want, where you want things to go. So it feels like you may be moving away from this. However, I'm trying to see, like, this is kind of flanking. And then this is, you know, material and influencing through the material. And it's like, it's funny because I'm saying like, this is like what was in his head. And I know it's saying that way, but for your guys' reading, I'm seeing it differently. But he's like now going out into the real world. So again, it's like going out into the real world, into the material, into the things you can see, the tangible things. And it's like, and she's holding that plate. it's like, I mean, it might be supposed to be like a pentacle, but still, she's like holding that plate. And it's, again, it's like, I feel like that plate is like empty, but it's like, I feel like for some of you guys, it's a situation where you have this empty plate, and instead of seeing it as, I mean, some of you may see it as empty, but regardless, you're starting to actually see that the universe wants to fill it, or at least you're supposed to be going into that energy of, okay, here's my plate, fill it. Okay, I'm open-handed. I will take what you're giving to me now. So some of you guys are moving away from the tried and true and the known and the comfort zones of that, and starting to really branch out and decide to go into the real world and say, I have a plate that I want filled. Like, I don't have to keep having the same thing, or I don't have to believe that it's always going to be the same. Like, there's going to be something brand new coming to my plate. I mean, even like there's the bunny there, and then there's, this is like part of the chair, but it's almost sitting there like it's a foot, and it's like the lion's foot. So it's like, I feel like it's like you're putting, it's like your best foot forward, but you're actually, some of you guys may feel like your best foot forward might not even be your foot. And it's not saying that it's not your foot. I mean, some of you guys maybe like you're kind of going on footing that's not your own, that maybe like new connections, new opportunities have allowed you. So you're starting to branch out that way. But others of you, it may just literally be like, this is so foreign that the foot, your footing is like, it's like an energetic, it's a higher energy. It's, you know, it's that, I think it's like a lion, right? I think it's, yeah, like lion, like this, I want to say ego actually, but yeah, this thing, and it's like, but you haven't really taken it there. Like in the past, you were kind of in your head with that. And now you're like, okay, I'm going to go forward on the outside. So some of you guys really are coming into this place of, I feel like standing on your own, not, well, yeah, okay, on your own, because it's not, you're not valuing yourself based off of this anymore. You're not limiting yourself to this. This was an emotional release. However, it was an old emotional release, and you're coming to green pastures, new beginnings, new, I mean, even this is, you know, seeing all different sides of the situation, seeing what's going on, but regardless, knowing that, okay, you don't have to stay where you were, and you don't have to think that it's only this little picture where you are. You don't have to exist only in there. You're seeing all sides, and you're starting to see that your plate is empty, and it's not a big deal because your plate is going to get filled. So some of you guys are really being called to this place of open hand, like open cup. Like, I mean, I know that's in that, but still, like, it's like open, like this full energy of just go out and jump out and do it. And not in a bad way. And again, this is like a companion here. Like in some ways, sometimes like the dog is chasing the fool and it's like they're running away from something. No, this is a companion. So you're starting to realize in yourself. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is like yourself. I mean, it could be, you know, a romantic companion. It could be a friendship, whatever. But regardless, it's not this mentality anymore. This is a, like your true, like, you know, your man's best friend. It's like your actual, like, meeting minds. I mean, I know that's a dog and that's a human, but still, I feel like there's a sense of loyalty. There's a sense of, I just want to say, like, we belong together in this. Like, I don't know, like some of you guys may be branching out with a friend. But I do, like I said, I feel like this is more so just all you. And this is, for some of you guys, most of you guys probably, and this whole element that's happening, even if you're with somebody, I don't think that's exactly what this card is about right now. I think it's more so a matter of coming into yourself and saying, I'm safe in myself, even if, again, like I said, the footing is not necessarily your own. So that might be kind of like that, actually. But I do feel like it might be just a part of you, your ego. You're allowing your, like in the past, it's almost like your ego has taken you into your head of, I need to decide this, I need to figure this out, and I need to know what I'm working with, that you kind of almost didn't come out. And now your ego, you're like, you know what? I'm going to use this for me. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to like start like acting like I have this confidence. I'm going to start walking in this confidence. I'm going to start, you know, stepping on that, letting it say, okay, letting me go into positions where I put myself out there ready to receive, you know? I feel like there's something I'm missing with this Justice card though. That's funny too, because it's like they're both in thrones here. So it's like you're got this free, I mean free, but it's like an element of free, like feeling like it's free in there. And it's like, but that was a season. That was important for a time, but that's not where you are anymore. at least that's not the focus. You don't need to be limited to it. And then now it's like you're sitting in your trust that you have the power to change your reality, to change what you've been in, to change all that. You're sitting in the power, you're sitting in that reality of, I have resources I can use. I can kind of like use that footing. I can, I have resources. I can trust that I'm going to have something new coming to my plate. And I mean, you might still have a face of apprehension. You may still like have that in some ways for some people. And some of you, it may be a situation where you have that face of apprehension. And because you show your face of apprehension, even if you're not really there in apprehension, you might get like jumped on about it from other people. Like, it's almost like, like when you're kind of growing and you're trying to heal something, and then you show like just a little slight tinge of like how you used to be as far as afraid of something, and then someone you're around that knew you before kind of is like, oh, and they like almost baby you in that. It's almost like, oh, okay, I know how you get like this sometimes. And you're like, no, I'm actually not like that anymore. So some of you guys, even that 3 of Cups, I think those old people sometimes made it like kind of, not placated, what is it? Enabled you more when you went into that mode to where you stayed in your old self. However, even if they're not those 3 of Cups people, some people that are still around you may see that and jump on it. And it's not anything that you're actually doing. You're actually further than that. And your job in that is to make your own reality, is to say, you can't paste your reality on me. Not saying you actually say that to the people, but it's like if someone treats you according to what they know of you, you just know that's on them. That's what they're holding. That doesn't mean that you are what you used to be. You're in a totally new place. So I mean, that's really exciting, Capricorn. Oh, as far as and the reading so far, or yeah, exactly. Okay. So the vision so far is, like I said, the wood, excuse me, nailing wood on, wood to wood, attaching something to something, making something solid, solidifying it. And it's like, well, while you're doing that, there is going to be maybe an end that still swings. There is going to be that sometimes a little tinge of your old self coming out. And it's like, just know that sometimes it might get in the way, all that, but that doesn't mean that you're not doing the right thing. And that doesn't mean that you don't have the strength to go forward, or it doesn't mean that you're the person that those old people might think you were, or even some new people might see that old stuff in you and be like, oh, okay, and act accordingly. And it's like, that doesn't mean that that's what you're limited to at all. So you're in a really good place according to this. Like, I really like this. So, and I mean, if some of you guys have been struggling, like I said, between that's the main thing. The main focus is to just know that this is all a process. You're going to have your moments. Just don't let anybody else tell you who you are when you're a work in progress and you're actually going further than you ever were before, And if they do, that's on them. That's not your reality to accept for yourself. Spirit God, universe, what message do you have for Capricorn for the month of July, especially in regards to the reading and the vision so far? Hold on. And sometimes when you nail the nail in, there may be a group of you that while you're doing that, it kind of slips or goes sideways or goes like crooked. And it just feels like some of you maybe like have kind of given up a little bit sometimes when it's nailing it in wrong, and you're saying, you might have said like, oh, well, this isn't supposed to go together, or I'm not supposed to have this solidified foundation. Like, I can't make it without, this old energy, like, you know what I mean? And it may feel like sometimes you're trying to make something happen that doesn't work, or that's not meant to. And it's not really that. It's a matter of literally, it's like a regular nail, holding it still, making sure all your variables are correct. And just knowing that it takes practice, and you might have to go through a few ones, but it doesn't mean that you're not meant to actually stand on this kind of solid ground, to not be limited to this, because there's nothing wrong with the 3 of Cups. However, if you're limited, it's different. Also, for some of you, hold on. For some of you that are, I'm seeing this, it doesn't necessarily mean this is a card always, but for some of you that are in any kind of relationship situation, a lot of times the Fool can even be like a cheating type card, and so can the Three of Cups. However, I don't really see it that way in this. I feel like if it's that way and you guys are in a relationship situation, it feels like you might be coming out of the energy of needing to see other people or needing to broaden your horizons. And you're saying, you know, you want to go out, but not so much necessarily for that energy, but rather to just explore your own life, explore your own avenues. So, and also if in that situation, for those of you that are doing that, if you do run into the same confusion when, you know, you look like you might be going back to this, whether you actually are or not, you know, by people in your life that knew you in the past, you know, like if you've had a wandering eye a lot of times, or you haven't been much for commitment, and maybe you kind of, you know, are trying to change that. When you've done that, again, it's the same way. It's like, it's looked like, oh, well, am I really meant to go here? Am I really meant to commit? Am I really meant to take this not solitary, but this path like this loyal, like I said, loyalty? Am I meant to take that path? Or am I just, you know, I need to just, you know, keep my options open? And it's like, no, it doesn't mean that. It just means that this is a work in progress. There are going to be some things, some mannerisms, some demeanors, some fears, even some things you might even say that make it look like you're still this person. You're still this person that can't settle down, and you're still that. But that doesn't mean that's not who you are. That means that, or that doesn't mean that that is who you are still. That just means that you're working on this and you're growing into being this. So don't judge yourself. Don't let, again, someone else paste their reality on you. Like I said, you may be getting accused of cheating. You may be getting accused of having a wandering eye. But if you have come from that place and you're actually trying to grow that, then you take your reality that that's not who you are and keep being this work in progress. I mean, different people have their different lifestyles, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, if this is something you're trying to move out of in that situation, in a relationship situation, you're trying to commit to somebody, you know, then if that's really what you're doing and that's your heart, then see it that way. See it as you have your own footing, you have this footing, you are strong in yourself, and you don't need to fall back on the opinions or the viewpoints or the fears of the people around you that may think that you may be regressing, or you may be deciding, oh, this isn't for me. And don't start deciding that just because, you know, you're seeing those little things and getting not deteriorated, yeah, basically, you know, losing hope or whatever. And again, yeah, like the wood, when you're putting something together, think about it. Even if, like, say you're the wood and there's another wood and you're nailing these two together, you're trying to make this relationship stick. You're trying to make this commitment. You're saying, okay, I want to commit to this person, for those of you that this is a romantic situation. But while you're doing that, if you've never committed like that before, there is going to be some sway in the end of that wooden piece, you know? And it's like, until it's fully down and it's a solid change you've made, a full thing you've done, there's going to be elements of, oh, this might look like it's in the way, or oh, this might look like it's hard or too hard to do, or, you know, maybe I can't get the nail to go through and connect these because this is all new to me. But again, it's something that happens with progress, or not progress, I guess progress. You're supposed to see your progress and see that and be encouraged by that. But it's something that happens with practice. And so that way it's, you know, you just keep going. You've already been shown how to change things. So and some of you guys, it may literally be like you have your eye on one of the people that normally, you know, you were in a group with, or you knew, a long time, not a long time ago. I feel like saying that, even though that's not what that card normally means, but you've known, you know? And so, and you're like, okay, well, can I go out on this limb? Like, can I actually see this person as like my person? Can I do this? Like, am I that person, or am I going to have a wandering eye? Like, can I actually see them that seriously? Because like, you know, I mean, you might really be questioning like who you are in a relationship, and if you can be what seems to be called for in a connection like that. Spirit guide, the universe, what message to have for Capricorn in regards to the reading and the vision so far? Throat chakra, express your truth. Exactly. Be true to yourself. So when you start going and wavering, just be true to yourself. Instead of telling yourself, oh, I'm just this, you know, be clear as to, okay, well, I'm going through things here. This is obviously not my norm. This is not my norm. And if you guys are really trying to do that and you're like in open communication, you could, some of you could be like, okay, look, this isn't what I've normally done, but I'm going to try this out with you. And in that case, you'd have this complete open communication of, you know, this is actually a little bit hard for me. Oh, you know, and if you have that way that you came to it in the first place, there's a level of respect there. There's a journey there that you're with the person. You've created this connection. So it's like, even if you falter, even if you have troubles, you know, there's an honesty there, that there's, you know, there's something you're building together. It's funny too, because it's like, you know, a butterfly. I mean, there's this too, but butterfly, and then there's the wings here. And you could say, oh, well, the butterfly doesn't need wings, and the wings don't need the butterfly because they're wings. You know, it's all wings. But it's like, it's two in one. And it's like, you can say you don't need this one. You can say, you know, you don't need, but it's like, but there's communication. If you bring it all together and say, okay, well, maybe I can get this from you and you can get this from me. And maybe we can work together in this way. Or maybe, you know, I can be honest in this and not feel like I have to hide. You know, there's a big, huge thing about honesty here. And saying that's like the blue there. I feel like that's funny too, because this thing is like dripping like purple. So it's like, it's throat chakra, which is generally blue, and there's blue there, but it's almost like this is like crown chakra, and it's like connecting everything. And it's like, the more you're connecting, the more the crown chakra, like it goes, it's dripping purple down, the more it goes to the other chakras, and it balances everything, it clears everything. It's almost like, it's like everything communicates together. And I'm not saying that's really what happens, but it's just all your energies become aware of each other. It's like, I mean, not really, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it balances, it starts clearing your chakras. You start being aware of, okay, well, if I'm having trouble in this is because of this chakra, or this is because of this. Not, oh, well, this must be who I am now, you know? It's literally, you start seeing the underlying workings, and you start not being afraid of it, and not becoming the victim or the thing that's labeled by outside influences. So I hope that resonated for you guys, Capricorn. Yeah, express your truth. I'm thinking also with the, yeah, express your truth. So yeah, I hope it resonated for you. Let me know what did and what didn't in the comments below. Also, if you feel compelled to share this, do. That helps my channel amazingly. Thank you guys for everyone that has been commenting, has been liking, subscribing. I mean, if you don't already subscribe, I suggest you do. That way you don't miss out on any of my content. Can't remember if I just already said that. I'm not sure. And like I said, I'll put the decks in the description below. So, okay, I will see you guys next time.